Thank you. Last month, you, at your last meeting, you made a commitment to me. I asked you if you would open up your office and log into your ALEC account and download the health care bill that you introduced that would opt Michigan out of the health care reform bill. I called your office. I'm sorry?
Allow our citizens to opt
Okay.
out individually.
All right. But at any rate, you made a commitment to me that I could visit your office. You would download.
I didn't say that, but I said that I'd get you the form. But I found out that ALEC, I didn't know that you could actually be a member and anybody can be a member.
No, you can't. I cannot be a member. You have to be a state legislator.
Or any Democrat, but also any member.
A state legislator has to be a member, Tom. I'm very familiar with ALEC.
They told me that that's something that, they don't.
It's not true. Okay, you have to be a legislator. You have to pay $50 a year to be a member, and you have to be a state legislator, okay? But anyway, at any rate, my point is I called your office. I talked to Josiah. He said he would talk to you about having me come in so I could compare the health care bill that you introduced and the health care bill that was from ALEC's website. Mm-hmm. Never received a phone call back. You never made good on your commitment.
Well,
so I'd like to...
Do you want to respond to that?
Go ahead.
They told me that's, that we pay whatever the subscription, just like, and that it's copyrighted. They don't let people, they didn't want that to be.
You could do it. I just wanted to compare the two. But at any point, I want to read a letter to you. I hope you'll bear with me. I want to give this letter to you, and I'd appreciate a response. It's come to my attention that there's an organization known as the American Legislative Exchange Council, which is known as ALEC, that has gained enormous power in American politics, specifically at the state level, and this organization is known to work behind the scenes, not to disclose its membership, not to disclose its funders, and not to disclose the principal product of its work, which is model legislation. I see this as a dangerous practice because such failure to disclose who writes and sponsors legislation in our 50 state capitals is a serious breach of transparency, which our laws and our Constitution demands of all legislators. Every voter in our state deserves to be advised of who is writing our laws, the interests behind the laws, and whether they have special interests at the expense of the residents and voters of our state. My first question is, which I know the answer to, are you a member of ALEC, which I know you are? Have you ever sponsored or co-sponsored legislation or partially or completely written by ALEC? Please identify all ALEC legislation you have sponsored or co-sponsored. ALEC has a series of conferences and workshops throughout the year. The next event is the annual conference, which is to be held in New Orleans, Louisiana, August 3rd through 6th, 2011. Do you intend to attend this conference? If you do attend this conference, will you be traveling at taxpayer expense, yes or no? If you will be traveling at ALEC expense, please identify how much of this is costing ALEC for your travel, lodging, meals, and other consideration, including golf outings and the like. If you are not traveling to the New Orleans conference, do you intend to join via teleconference or video link? Please explain how legislation written by Washington, D.C. lawyers, Washington, D.C. lobbyists, and corporate interests, some of which do not do business in our state, represents the interests of the residents, voters, and taxpayers of our state better than legislation written by our elected legislators. If you're a member of ALEC or any other organization which has a hand in writing the laws of our state, please verify that in your listing in the legislative website so that it correctly states this association. Legislative transparency demands this. I want to know who is writing the laws of my state, and I want to know why outsiders think they know more about our problems than our elected representatives. In closing, I'm very serious about wanting to know who is writing and influencing the legislation that is enacted in our state. Please reply seriously. I would expect that you would reply to that as soon as possible.
No, I'm not going to any ALEC thing. I subscribe to them. I didn't consider myself a member, but I subscribe to them like I subscribe to other, New York Times or other things.
Do you pay it out of your legislative account or out of your personal funds?
It would be my own personal. I'm not going to anything that I know of. I have no plans to. I know that you're looking for black helicopters, and
I'm not looking for anything.
I saw the edited video you did to try to, little gotcha stuff. So it's cute, and it gets you some national attention. I know, but I write legislation it's my own. I utilize actually the ACLU, and I have been working 100 times more in the last month than I have since I've been a legislator with ALEC. I don't even think I've used them. The health care that you seem to think you got me on was simply what I did with the petition drive last year. Converted it last year to a bill, but it was basically the same petition drive that I used then. So
you're saying it didn't come from the ALEC website?
No, it didn't come from the ALEC
What about your Midwest Greenhouse Gas Reduction Accord, your resolution? That was word for word from ALEC's website.
I look at all kinds, like I said,
It was word for word, Tom.
I love the stuff.
Word for word.
Well, I like what all kinds of organizations do. Maybe
Do you take their language word for word?
I grab various things from various groups.
Are you just a copy and paste legislator? Is that how it works in Michigan?
If I like good ideas, I don't take bad ideas. If I like good ideas,
So you copy and paste them from other states and from other websites?
Yeah, I mean, the TSA legislation, I just sent my staff an email on the Texas, how the TSA anti-groping law that Texas just passed. I like that. I'm not a member of the Texas legislature. I might like their legislation. I might like to see what they're doing. I do that all the time. Different legislation. I've been working with ACLU 100 times more in the last month.
Are you willing to show us every time you've logged onto your ALEC website?
You can talk to Shelley. That's something that is not allowed. They don't let you, let other people log in.
Well, I don't want to log in. I want you to log in, and I want you to show me the bill.
I don't think I've logged in since I've been a legislator.
Can you prove it?
Oh my gosh! Look, I've got there's people here that actually have real questions.
This is a real question, Tom. These are bills being written by lobbyists out of Washington D.C. These are written by corporate interests.
I write my own legislation.
You don't, Tom. You just admitted that you don't.
I write my own legislation.
You just admitted that you don't. You just admitted.
With your little black helicopter stuff. Yeah.